What is something that you were warned about when you were younger that you now feel was exaggerated?
Stranger danger is a real thing, but you're much more likely to be abused by someone you know. Even someone your own age. I sometimes wonder if I was educated on this as a kid, if I'd have told a teacher what a classmate was doing to me for years and gotten some help earlier in my life.
Apart from infamous quicksand, I thought it would be a bigger problem being stuck in the Alps and having to drink alcohol from a St. Bernard's necklace.
Also, cannibalism was a huge concern in late elementary to early middle school days. It was highly unlikely we'd ever crash in the Andes or that our wagon train would get stuck in the mountains in winter, but for some reason all the kids in my school were concerned about it. Should we eat someone? Asterisk. Could we actually do it if we had to? Asterisk. Who should we eat first? The fat kid will keep, but we don't want the muscular guy to lose too much weight. We were pretty fed up, I'm now realizing.
Your permanent record. I'm 55. And nobody has ever asked me about the time I was sent to the principal's office when I was 16.
I got a job and they didn't even bring up that I had my own assigned seat in detention. It's almost like I wasted all that cool kid cred.
Mom warned me to avoid any girl who wanted to stick her tongue in my mouth, French kiss, because it would lead me astray.
Mama warned me about women like you. I was hoping she was right.
When my 5th grade teacher told us that 6th grade would be a lot harder.
Haha, so true. I heard this lie throughout my entire school life. Laugh now kids, because once you're in current grade level +1, your teachers won't put up with this kind of behavior.
Swallowing chewing gum.
In still waiting for that watermelon to grow out of my stomach.
Turning on the light in the car. And #X200B. Turns out it's not illegal but is actually distracting for the driver. So Dad could have just said, the glare is distracting, don't have it on for long.
I make it a point to wreck my car if someone turns on the overhead light after I tell them not to. They have to learn somehow.
My mum was obsessed with the idea that all bad poo only happened after midnight, so that was my ironclad curfew. Guess what, Mum? A ton of bad poo has happened to me in broad daylight.
If the movie Gremlins ever raised an existential question in my jellyfish brain, it has to be this one. When does after midnight stop? 11:37, 13:15?
My school made me believe that I would be set on fire frequently. It has obviously not happened yet.
My 50-year-old dad actually got set on fire not too long ago, and he said his first reaction was to stop, drop and roll like he heard in grade school, and that it worked. So it may not happen very often, but someday you may be thankful.
Talking to strangers online. Hello internet friends.
Talking to people online, and then meeting them. I would never have met my partner, got my job, had my hobby, had any of my friends, traveled anywhere I got an Uber to if I hadn't.
Getting written up at work. Turns out that permanent work record does not exist, and will not follow you from job to job for the rest of your life.
Or your school permanent record, like all the tropes in shows and movies. No one cares that you pushed little Billy down in 4th grade.
My parents both smoked before having kids, and my mom raised me on stories about how the first time she smoked a cigarette, she coughed so badly that she threw up. It made staying away from smoking cigarettes pretty easy, because I didn't want to puke. Once I was in college, I brought up the story to her and she blinked like an owl caught in the sunlight. "Wait, you believed me?" she said. "I was just trying to get you to not smoke. If smoking made me vomit, why do you think I smoked for 15 years? Good job, Mom."
I could definitely see throwing up the first time you smoke a cigarette, especially if it's a really strong one. Cigarettes taste horrible and the nicotine makes you feel lightheaded and nauseous if it's your first time. I didn't throw up, but I coughed my guts out. Same thing with the first time I tried WD, coughed for what felt like eternity.
I really thought the Bermuda Triangle would play a stronger role in my adulthood.
I still feel strangely drawn to it. Ha ha.
If you are not a model student and don't have excellent grades, you will never amount to anything in life.
I was a model student and had excellent grades. I haven't amounted to much due to crippling anxiety and depression. Yay?
Playing with yourself will make you go blind. Sure. My eyesight has declined over the decades, but it's absolutely been worth it.
My mom said some of her friends growing up were told lies like that. One friend was apparently told if she touched herself she would go crazy. My mom told me that this girl did go crazy because she was obsessed with trying to not touch herself. Like after she peed, she had to make sure her hands didn't touch anywhere. And this actually drove her crazy. Of course, I don't know if this is true or just a wild exaggeration from my mom. But she did seem sad when she told me that, so I think it might have been mostly true.
Apparently my face will not actually stay like that if I make funny faces in the mirror.
When I was a small kid, my mom said that line to me. My smooth small kid brain asked her, "Is that what happened to you?" My line of thinking was, how could she know that unless it had happened to her before? But I soon received a smack.
D-dealers. I thought people would force that DG down my throat until I was a broke addict. I have been offered it a few times in high school, but funny enough they were all very wholesome interactions. My favorite was a guy who I had never spoken to, who had just learned I was chronically ill, and he said that if I ever wanted to try anything he would give it to me for free and would help me to do it safely since he knew I didn't do DG. It was just a very pure moment, and I will never forget that look of kindness and concern in his eyes. I've since been around many D-dealers. I think everyone in the Netherlands has, and have never been forced, tempted or manipulated to do DG.
Movies with age ratings. It was the creepy kids movies, TV shows that traumatized me, not those movies. Hee hee.
Stop playing with the computer, you'll get dumb. I'm a software engineer now and I make more than all my friends.
Killer bees.
I was told in DARE that people would constantly be offering me DG and trying to get me high, and it would be a constant struggle to turn them down. Imagine my disappointment.
I was told the same thing, except about being recruited into a cult. Like, it wasn't asterisk if asterisk, it was asterisk when asterisk.
How hard high school is. Teachers always said you would have to smarten up in high school and you would barely have time for anything. I crocheted my teacher a sweater for his dog in class once. I think he'll be okay.
I barely did any homework in high school, still graduated with a high 70% average, which AIUI is still pretty decent in Canada, so when they told me the same stuff about college, I didn't listen. Pro tip, at least for a STEM major, they mean it for college.
Stranger RP. It still happens and is devastating, but most RPS are committed by someone known to the victim, not by a masked stranger popping out of the bushes. I think that emphasis on stranger fear discourages people from seeing red flags in situations with people they know.
Wasn't it then found out that stranger danger did a lot of harm, because when people were in actual danger they were less likely to seek out help from stranger because they were afraid of them?
The requirement of having your poo together. Virtually everyone is in various stages of chaos, even if they give the appearance of having everything carefully planned. Edit. Didn't realize this comment would resonate with so many. I typed it without much thought and I'm overwhelmed with the effect it has had. Glad it has acted as a motivator for some of you.
If I didn't do everything that was expected of me, I'd end up flipping burgers. 1. That turned out to be absolutely untrue. 2. There's absolutely no shame in working in the food industry.
Yeah, some of us did everything that was expected of us and still ended up flipping burgers. Not to shame it, everyone deserves a living wage and regular hours.
I was promised people would offer me DG for free.
Right? Me too, and at 42 I have thus far only been offered expensive DG. Very disappointing.
Turning on the car light.
Lol. If you turn the car light on while your dad is driving, he will swerve off the road, immediately killing your entire family.
Cracking knuckles causes arthritis. Lies. It's annoying to hear, but it doesn't cause arthritis. If you respect others, they'll respect you. Respect your elders. Such bullpoo. People of all ages can be terrible people regardless of how they're treated. How likely it was for a tornado to plow into my elementary school. Pretty sure sitting on my knees in the hallway with my hands over my neck would not save me from a ceiling caving in.
Dr. Donald Unger actually cracked the knuckles of his left hand at least twice a day for over 50 years, whilst never cracking those on his right hand in order to prove his mother wrong. He never developed arthritis in either hand, and won an Ig Nobel Award for his efforts in 2009.
Having a bad handwriting being a huge handicap for me in the future in my professional life. I've been working for 20 years now. Never had to write anything down using a pen beyond personal notes here and there, not meant to be shared.
Can anyone read this guy's post? It just looks like scribbles to me. Quicksand.
Television was going to ruin my brain. Okay gesture.
Turns out that was the internet's job.
We don't use calculators in class and you should learn how to not use one. You'll never catch anyone working with numbers not use a calculator. Edit. I think some of y'all are taking this too seriously. The Reddit question was what was something that was exaggerated when we were younger. I understand that learning the basics in math is essential to developing an understanding of how simple things work, but some of my teachers were crazy strict. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the knowledge they gave us, but dear Lord, they made it seem like calculators were banned at workplaces or in real life.
The thing that always bothered me was, you have to memorize all of these formulas. Accountants have reference books. Lawyers have reference books. Why does a student have to memorize something for a test on paper, when the paid professionals don't, for work?
Razor blades in Halloween candy. Being kidnapped because I had a long ponytail. Being in a school shooting. Oddly enough, those things seem more likely to happen now than they did back in the 90s. Exaggerated for the time, but prepared me for the future. Yay?
Apparently the razor blade, poisoned candy was an urban myth. Link. Specifically candy, link.
Peer pressure. Almost all the peer pressure I felt was actually self-pressure.
My school and parents, your friends are going to pressure you to drink. My friends in high school, LMAO, were not old enough to drink. Where do you even buy booze? My friends in college, you are a child baby, you can't drink. My friends, now that I'm old enough to drink, okay, I have Pedialyte and Gatorade for tomorrow morning. If you don't want to drink, we have soda. Everyone pace yourselves and make sure you eat. If you get the drunk sads or the spins, then here is my dog to comfort you.
Not going to college would make it impossible to have a fulfilling career. Edit. I want to respond to a lot of comments. My reply doesn't state that college is not beneficial, especially if you want a certain field. Just that my parents specifically stated I won't be able to do anything without that pigskin. I am currently 40 and this was drilled into the 1990s high school kids' heads.
When I was younger, my mother once told me that if I didn't start paying attention in school, I'd be lucky to end up as a roofer. Yada, yada, yada. I got my shush, asterisk together academically in high school, went to a good college, went to law school, got a good lawyering job. The other day my mom reminds me of the time she said that if I didn't start paying attention I'd end up as a roofer. My response was, Mom, one of my best friends is roofer. He got his GED, never attended college. And after a few years of hard manual labor he was managing his own crews and running his own shop. He could probably buy and sell me multiple times over and works half as many hours.
Laced WD. My parents brought it up like I was taking a serious risk with my life every time I smoked. I've smoked WD pretty regularly for like 8 or 9 years. No one I know has ever met anyone who's ever smoked laced WD. Turns out D dealers deal DG to make money, and they're not going to spend money to put more DG in your DG without telling you, charging you more.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.